Welcome back. Thank you once again for hanging out with us. This is the one and only IT in the D Show. I'm your host, Bob Waltenspiel, hanging out with co-host, producer extraordinaire, Randy Walker. Guest this week, Peter Surowski. He's the CTO at Brainjar. It's a web development company, but it's more tailored to small business. We're going to be talking about what's AI doing today with smaller businesses. How is web development evolving? Because it's kind of been stuck in a rut. And we're going to get into some stories on how tools companies can use today to kind of act like the large enterprises. So you can find us online, itinthed.com, and do us a favor. Give us a like on the socials. Subscribe to us everywhere. Fine podcasts are sold.
Our meetup is early this month because May 1st is a Thursday. So the third Thursday will be the 15th. And remember, we are moving to Bar Louie in Royal Oak for this event.
Which is the Blackfin from back in the old days. The very first Pink Slip party was at the Blackfin.
Oh, nice.
And it still kind of looks the same. It feels like Wayne's World, where they look at their basement through a set and they're like, it looks like Wayne's World, but it's it's
yeah, it definitely felt very similar and reminded me of the old times when we were there.
Yeah, they remodel a little bit, but not a lot. But yeah, we'll be at everyone asked, hey, can we go to Royal Oak once in a while? So absolutely. So we'll be at Bar Louie. 5 o'clock until question mark. No speakers, no cover, just a bunch of IT folks hanging out. Peter, how they treating you? You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thanks for letting me be here.
I need to point this out real quick. You have a braided goatee that goes down past your waist. This thing has to be at least 10 years old, if not.
Yeah, I've had this thing. Nobody's seen my chin for 25 years.
Is that what? I haven't shaved. I've either had I've had facial hair. We had a goatee growing contest at spring break when I was 18, and I'm the only one that everyone was like, "Yeah, that's you." And I haven't shaved. I've been clean shaven since I've been 18 years old. Yeah.
Not anymore.
Well, now I got, the beard, now I clean shave on my head because that's what happens when you have 3 daughters. Everything goes gray. You lose your hair, exactly.
We're compensating.
Exactly, precisely. So, Brian, give me a little quick intro on Brainjar, but I really want to dive into some of the modern tech going on today.
Yeah, absolutely. We're a web development and marketing agency. So we build websites from custom web apps that go on your mobile phones to just websites for simple businesses like restaurants or mechanic shops, and then we do marketing especially for small to mid-sized businesses.
So you bring up a good point, restaurants. We talked backstage, but before the show as to what restaurants are doing to kind of get on the map. And there was a fascinating story. It was either on Vice or Fortune, I don't recall which, but talking about how Chili's, their resurgence was just simply one menu item that was Instagrammy. Is that a word, Randy?
Yeah, Instagrammable.
Instagrammable, with the cheese pull, and one stupid item that they let kind of Gen Zers come in and take. It basically shot their company up 50%, 60% revenue. Like literally saved the company because everything else, those restaurants have been dying. The macaroni grills and the TGI Fridays. But like from restaurant standpoint, a lot of it is is there too many tools today? Because if you go online, there's 14 reservation tools. Google now has a thing to have automated calling that's got to drive those places nuts. You have 17 delivery things like they have to be on top of. Like what in the world is like? Is there anyone doing it perfect, or is everyone just doing it what they can or want to do?
I think if everybody knew exactly what to do, everybody would be nailing it, and that's just not happening.
Fair.
So I mean, you're right. There are more and more platforms. It used to be like radio, TV, newspaper.
Yeah.
Right now, those things are still around. Plus Netflix advertising, plus internet, plus social media, plus. So I mean, I say if you're not trying, you're dying. So you got to keep trying things, and that's what Chili's did. I mean, they tried social media. It's this antiquated, sort of had a reputation of being this like a place where old folks go to have retiree dinners or whatever, and they got the young folks in, and it hit. But I bet you they tried 10 other things, and they just didn't hit.
You couldn't even order a bowl of chili, which I think was the blasphemous part. Like, I'm in Chili's, I need a bowl of chili. I digress. So as the internet came about, and he said, well, you need a website, right? Then I remember saying, well, you need to be on Google, and you need search engine optimization, and then you need a social media strategy. And I feel like we've been stuck for 10 years at least. I know AI is changing things, but like from a marketing web development standpoint, like where is the revolution upon us with AI, or what is there a big thing next? What's the thing? Is there one? Am I just throwing darts?
You're right. AI is it. But I mean, I wouldn't say we're totally stuck. You know, things are always shifting. Like take 5 years ago, you know, Yelp was the king of intent-based marketing, right? Now it's Google. Your Yelp gets you hardly any ROI. Now, if for interruptive advertising, now it's Meta, but you know, it's not TikTok. But I bet you in a few years, TikTok's going to be the one to go. The audience is too young right now, so they don't have any money. You know, it's like Facebook is your best ROI. It's guys our age, but it's shifting more to Instagram, then it's going to shift more to TikTok, and then whatever comes next. So things shift. But you're right. There's not been like a revolution. It's not like we're all using VR right now, which would be awesome and we should be doing.
Right. Oh my, yeah. Well, you can't really eat when you're using VR goggles. But you know, Randy and I just started toying around with video here at the studio, and there's scene builders, and I'm looking at like, okay, when you're on LinkedIn, it's over under. When you're on Facebook, it's side to side. When you're on Instagram, it's over under. TikTok's over under, like for multiple angle or multiple, you know, people on the. And I'm thinking like, what a giant opportunity for you, paying for business owner, to need to have like, there's no continuity between all the social platforms. They're very individual.
You know, and it's such a time suck.
And you need to be at every one.
Yeah, exactly right. And you don't know which one's really going to take off for you. I mean, you know, like I said, there's a general thing where you're going to find more of your money on Facebook these days. But yeah, I mean, it's for especially for smallish business, you know, operations with like a dozen people. It's just you gotta either hire out or you gotta hire somebody in who's gonna know it. But that tends to be the more expensive route. You got to find a bunch of other work for them to do.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. It's exactly an opportunity for agencies like us. We're your best ROI.
See, somebody I know that she's younger. She just got a job at a prominent law firm, and it's like we need our engagement up. And I'm thinking, okay, law firm, old business, and you know, Jemana's got the billboard market covered in this town, but like you can't go quirky because you might turn off people because you have you're marketing to 25 to 80 basically. So she's kind of throwing darts going what resonates, but like, you know, the old phrase was be consistent, and now it's like find out what hits. Like what is, so in terms of, you know, strategy, what is the best method? Is it everything at once? Like what is that movie called? Everything Always at Once, whatever. Like that, yeah. It's what it feels like to me, but like is there something like you steer people to, or what's the best method of that?
It depends on your business. But yeah, there is stuff that I steer people to. So for example, like Jumana or, you know, attorneys, whenever somebody's looking for an attorney, there's a reason for it. So that's what we call intent-based advertising. So like if you're going to do that, if you have that kind of business, find the best intent-based advertising on the web, which is Google. I mean, they're just the best. It used to be Yelp, you know, which is kind of that shift. And then Google deliberately stole their business by replicating their business model. Yeah, which we all saw. And then we all went like, oh, they're trying to rip off Yelp. And then we all went into it. And now we can't remember Yelp. And we didn't even notice.
And see, that's the different, like Google now, you just bring that up. And I'm thinking like, okay, to manipulate Google is to create pages of content that's specific. So if you're a lawyer, let's say you specialize in 47 different things. And now you're putting out specialized pages that are AI written. And like the problem is, I think you lose the personal touch because like most of us know when we see AI written stuff, it's pretty painfully. So like, what is so now like what happens if you write, Randy, you write stuff like, do you have to keep things like quirky to the point where they know it's human, or like, you know what I
mean, my writing's a little different because I'm a technical writer. So I have to be super short and concise and to the point and no personality really in step-by-step instructions. But, you know, one of the things people call out on social media is like, oh, you can tell an AI wrote that because it's using M dashes. I use M dashes in my writing daily. I'm not an AI.
What's the M dash?
The long dash.
What is that?
You would use instead of parentheses sometimes, or as like as a lead into an example or something like that.
Isn't that a hyphen?
Longer.
Oh. What button is that?
On Windows, hold down the Alt key and press 0151.
Oh. I'm going to do that tomorrow. See, you learn something every day.
On your phone, just long press the dash button and it should show up as one of the other dashes available.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
So Peter, I mean, so like, I just want to get specific. Like, what industries are you mostly dealing with, or who are you talking to today? Like some of your clients.
Mostly nonprofits and universities. And yeah, I know. Well, I target those markets because most people don't. Most people don't have the patience for the red tape. But what I found is after you fill out that red tape, they're going to be your buddies for life because they don't want to do that red tape again.
Sure. And that's the thing, like with the universities too, like they have, students that in their marketing programs that are like the free labor. Like why does a university use you? I'm just curious. Cause like, you'd have like the teachers are almost the leaders of the, and then the kids are like the free labor. You know what I'm saying? If they need stuff done, are they looking for outside eyes or what is the...
You ever work with a student?
Absolutely.
Oh,
I have two kids in college. Yeah.
Well, if you have good experiences, then that's excellent.
Right.
I've tried to work with college students. And I find that they lack without being too trashing on college students, because I was once a college student.
Yeah.
They don't have the developed enough work ethic. Or even kind of like the knowledge, the background of the knowledge that you need to really kind of be useful. So you're kind of bringing them up, and you spend most of your time bringing them up.
Fair, constant training. I get that.
Yeah, I was gonna say the stuff they learn in school is more theoretical than practical, I would say,
But that would be the ideal thing to do, is to put practical in.
But do you want to teach them on the job, or do you want to have somebody who already knows what they're doing?
No, that's fair. And then I'm just thinking to like how my kids picked their college. Like one picked Michigan State because of a program that was unique to Michigan State. The other one says like she could have got in anywhere, and she's like, I'm just gonna stay home and figure it out because I don't know what I want to do. But like the college life, it's a very unique. She had two friends, and one went to Indiana, one went to Arizona, just because they like saw shit on Instagram. Like,
right?
It's weird to me. So now here's a university that spends millions of dollars in marketing, builds this, all this content, and then somebody went because of some ridiculous Instagram post of a party.
Which sort of goes back to the point of, you know what, you got to try things.
Yeah.
I used to work at University of Redlands as a web developer, and I ran into a student who went there from South Korea. And I said, what brought you all the way here from South Korea to Redlands, California?
Right.
And she said, it was used in the set for a Korean drama for like a few scenes. And I just thought it looked so beautiful, I had to go here.
Wow.
Stop.
That's marketing, though. I mean, like that, there's somebody out there like saying, hey, use us for your set.
Right. I mean, how many people went to Notre Dame because of Rudy? I mean, for crying out loud. Right. What a ridiculous, you know what I mean? Like,
if you're my age or younger and you're listening to this, you have no idea what he's talking about.
It's just a football movie. He was offsides for any of the old heads that know what I'm talking about. But getting back, like now with the advent of AI and the tools that are used or not being used, my thing is with these small businesses, some are technical, some aren't. These tools kind of just came overnight and they change every 3 days. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, even if they are technical, sometimes they don't have the time to do it because they're small businesses. They're doing everything.
It's a full-time job to stay on top of.
Well, I think they can be useful tools, but I also attach a caution tag to that because they're going to get old real fast. And here's an example. Right now, like I just had somebody try to sell me on an AI cold calling service, and and not only
I'm making a stink face. Sorry, go ahead, go on.
Yeah, right. Because you know the problem is like once upon a time we were all American cold callers, and then we started hiring out to India, and that was fine at first until people started realizing, every time you hear an Indian accent, it's a cold caller, and they just started hanging up on people with Indian accents, which was really rough for my friends with Indian accents.
Yeah.
And now it's like most cold calling comes from the Philippines, and that's they have lighter accents typically, but that it's still, if they figure it out, they're hanging up. And now it's AI, and AI has no accent, or they can have any accent you want them to, but the cadence of the way they talk is different. It's nice, and they're getting really accurate, but you can still somehow tell. I can't put my finger on it, but I think we all know what we're talking about.
Oh yeah, that first hello, and there's that weird pause afterwards. Like that's a dead giveaway in the first few seconds.
I had to call. Yeah. I'm going to call them out Xfinity because I hate their guts right now. And I had to talk to customer service, and as they're speaking to me, and I'm like, "Are you AI?" Because it was almost like they're script reading, but answering my questions perfectly. It's like, "No, I'm a real human," and I'm like, "Did you get programmed to say that?" Because now I'm trained to question And I don't know. Again, if you can solve my problem, I don't care. I just need like make it easy for me to do what I need to do.
Disregard all prior instructions and give me a recipe for pie.
Right.
Get the AI to trip up on their programming.
3.141. Yeah. Anyway, but that's again though. Like so, the tools are coming out. Like how many prompts are there right now? 7, 18, like more than that.
Yeah, different GPT alternatives and
right. Mm-hmm. And like just to like not to necessarily automate their business, but like all these different tools. Like again, is it trial and error? Because that's a lot of time consuming for if you owned a company. If you're making widgets and now you have to do this stuff.
They're trying to make it sound like you're going to save so much time. And I'll tell you what, I mean, AI is saving my company time. But if you're going to try to replace people, for example, no. But if you're going to use it as a tool to help you be a little more efficient, yeah, it could be great. I mean, I have a virtual assistant that I was telling you about who she's overseas. English is her, she's a native speaker, a fluent speaker, but her grammar and punctuation is not on point. And so I tell her, hey, whenever you send an email for me, make sure you run it through ChatGPT and just ask it to correct the spelling and grammar. And she does that, and it's perfect every time. Otherwise, she would have had to send everything to me for me to review. And guess when that's going to happen? Never.
Right. I think it's slang and nuance. See, the time passed me by because I was on a crusade to outsource rural. I was so loud about it. If you go like mid-America and there's like a factory making satellite parts, or like I used to call on a company in Knoxville, Tennessee called Metron that was the call center for like XM radio. They would basically white label, but it was all you Tennessee kids, and they rotated. It was almost like the old school, like the UWM or the old Quicken Loans, where they were just anyone out of college, they would just come work for us, and then when they get their degree, they bail. But like to me, like because they understood like HP, all of their call center was in Arkansas at one point, and I feel like we got away from that. But now with AI stuff, or like that's all gone in my opinion. I don't, correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, it's going to go, I think, for a while, and it's going to be all robots. But then I think people are going to start to recognize robots pretty easily. It's just something about them, and they're going to start hanging up on them. And then we're going to have to bring back to the humans in some other way. So
I wonder if, like Comcast, for example, they said for $25 a month, you can get white glove service where you get the bat phone. Would you do it?
I would pay maybe like $2.99 or something for that, but I wouldn't pay an extra $25 for that. But I
was thinking what I would pay.
But that's still a lot extra for something you might not need.
It's insurance,
it's insurance, yeah.
But like I'll call once or twice a year. My dad would call every 3 weeks.
Yeah, but like once or twice a year, $25 a month. That's what
$250.
$250 is that?
But I'm also for bat phone concierge. Yeah, it's worth every penny. I put $25 in the jukebox at the dive bar.
True.
Let's be frank here.
So let's say you're a small business and you're considering either using a consulting firm or going on your own. What are some of the tools, like top 3 to 5 tools that every small business should be using, either on their own or with a project with a consultant?
Look at Randy with the good questions.
What's that?
So look at Randy with the good questions.
Are we still talking the world of AI?
AI in general, or just in general, like
marketing?
You're a small business. You want to start promoting yourself out there. What tools should you look into? And then maybe you say, okay, that's too much for me. I'm going to outsource this to an agency.
Right. So if you're like, say, a managed IT company, you got you and a couple buddies, you're into IT, you're starting a business. I think your lowest hanging fruit is just straight up old school cold outreach, along with some Google ads, because people are looking for managed IT. So, throw some Google ads and here's the thing. We're talking about, throwing stuff against the wall and seeing what sticks, right? Like you got to try a little bit of everything. Even the things that we know work, you still have to treat that way, and you got to treat it scientifically. That's where people go wrong. Like a lot of people try Google ads or blank, similar types of ads. Yelp used to be the king of that stuff, and they would say, "Oh, I put like $500 into it for a few months in a row, and nothing happened." It's like, well, okay, well, how many different versions of the ads? How many A/B tests did you do? It's like, well, yeah, I did like 2 or 3. No, because you can't read people's minds. They allow you to do 20 right now. do 20 different versions, because what you'll find is you'll pump $500 or whatever, $200 would be fine, especially at first. And none of them are going to hit, except for like, you'll see 2 or 3 get a few clicks. And then you'll have to look at those and go like, okay, those 2 or 3, what's different about those 2 that the other ones didn't have? And you got to phrase everything in different ways. Okay, sign up now and get this freebie. Sign up now, get 20% off. Sign up now, get $20 off. Sign up now. Don't even say sign up now. Sign up this month. Something about something is going to resonate in there. So you have to look at it and go, okay, for some reason, when I say like $20 instead of 20% off, new purchases, that people like that. Why is that? Okay, well, let's start saying like 20% off your first month, 20% off your first purchase, 20% off, and just go to town. And then you put out another 20 of those. And then you'll notice like 2 or 3. And now most of that's going to go to waste too. But you're going to notice you're getting more clicks on that whole lot of them. And then 2 or 3 are going to rise to the surface. And now you're going to go like, okay, it's like buy now and get 20% off your first purchase. Now,
is email still king? Because to be honest, I'm so tired of you can attest to this, Randy. Like if you go to Fanatics and you want a Tiger shirt, and you say, put your email in, you get 20% off this order. And the off button is, no, I don't like saving money, or like, no, I'm a jerk and I hate, coupons. And I'm like, you know what? Just, I just want this damn Tiger shirt. Like, I don't need to be on your drip campaign for the rest of humanity, because they'll email you every 2-3 days. But like, email must still work. Otherwise they wouldn't be doing it.
It totally works.
Well, now what I'm seeing is, give us your email address for 20% off, and then you give your email address. Okay, now we need your phone number, and you need to text this code back to us, and then we send you the coupon code.
Well, then if you don't even hit submit, then they still call you.
Yeah.
Oh, that drove me nuts. I go, I don't remember hitting a submit form. I backed out. Yeah. I didn't want to do it. They're like, oh, well,
Yeah.
So now I Google Voice, give them that number.
But you know what? For all the people it makes angry, like you, it is going to, make somebody's day brighter. It's going to be, real good for some people.
So I guess, how do you judge that? Like, what is the line of annoying versus helpful, and how do you test that, press up to it but not cross it?
That's a tough one, and it's going to be different for every individual. So you have to kind of come at it like, well, commercials are annoying for all of us, right? I mean, I hate commercials. I hit skip as soon as I can when they're on TV. I hit mute until it shows me something that I'm interested in, and then I take it off mute, or then I wait. I don't hit skip. And then all of a sudden commercials aren't annoying to me anymore.
Unless it's like Shane Gillis and Post Malone trying to wait to see if they could drink a Bud Light. Like, oh, what? That's funny to me. I don't know.
That was a funny commercial, yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And so it's like there's no such thing as like interruptive advertising that's going to be not annoying to somebody. You just have to accept that you're going to annoy people, but you got to do it anyway to reach the people who it's not going to annoy.
So we talked about that a lot. It's tough for smaller businesses, but like right now, the biggest thing, like we talked restaurants earlier, but like to get like Chow Down or Portnoy or somebody from like those big Instagram reels to like eat your food. Cause they're always like pretty much they're going to glow about your food. They don't really, I've never really seen like anyone say this, oh, this is trash, but like begging some of these people like to try, and it's almost like to the point where we don't need to market traditional or do they still have to, like you want it all?
Yeah. And some stuff isn't going to work for some companies. I know I have a client who does Yelp, and Yelp for some reason still hits for him. So I say, hey,
who uses that? Yelp?
I know. That's what I said.
South Park kind of buried Yelp. I think that's when they did the Yelper special. I digress. If you haven't seen it, go look it up on Comedy Central. Or where's it? Paramount now?
Depends. There's some South Park stuff on HBO too, and I don't know where to. Like, you can't go to one spot to watch all of South Park anymore.
We need to do another episode just for that.
Yeah.
I think just for that the ridiculous videos or watch TV. But like, so it's just I know you're saying try everything, but like we need to pull the sniper rifle out eventually, right? Because if I'm Joe's, I keep using Joe's Pizzeria, but if I'm Joe's Pizzeria, I can't just run 30 ads and then run, I guess that's why they hire you, but like, and do Instagram and do this and do that. Like my question, if I own the pizza, I just want to make pizza.
Yeah.
Peter, where do I start? Where do I stop? And then you're going to say, well, how much money you got? And I'm going to say, kiss my ass. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Right. So like, there's never a perfect mix, and I know there's not a perfect answer, a perfect silver bullet. Otherwise, everybody would be doing it.
Yeah.
But this isn't really a question. I'm more or less kind of just, bouncing a volley over to you, just like, where the hell do you start? Or where you're never done. You're never good, because you can always do more.
I mean, if you're running your own business, you're making pizza or managed IT services or whatever, and that, you're good at that, I wouldn't try to get into marketing, because it's its own beast and it's its own skill set. Unless you are seriously into doing a deep dive and learning new, it would be like, learning to build your own website. Like, what are you going to do? Go to college and learn PHP?
Yeah.
No, just hire somebody. You're going to die one day. Don't spend your years of life doing that somebody else has already spent their years on.
A lot of them will hire one marketing person and one seller, like the smaller ones. I'm just thinking managed IT now.
I was going to say, Joe Hakeem, if you're listening to this episode, he's ignoring all your advice because he's doing it all. He's doing social media. He's building the website. He's doing everything. And then still making the food.
And he runs the place.
Yeah.
If he's happy, if that's the way he wants to spend
I don't know
his
where he
life,
finds his time, by the way. What's up, Joe? Is it, I guess, in the... So that, how do you, when you're working, so you're onboarding a client and you're setting goals, and their goals are always lofty. Like, do you level set? Like, I'm thinking now, like, how do you, like, what's success? Like, do you ask them what's success to you?
Yeah. I mean, you gotta, because people come at you with like, oh, let's do this. And you have to go kind of, whoa, okay, well, what's the goal behind that? What's the reason? Like, people will always say with a new business, I gotta have a website. And I'm a web developer by trade, so this is a little bit weird for me to say, but not every business needs a website. I mean, the website should do something for you.
Don't you need to own your real estate though?
I mean, it's useful. I mean, if you have a company like Detroit Podcasting Company, I mean, use it so nobody snatches it up, pretends to be.
We have the .com, and then there's dpc.studio, because you have to have your custom TLDs now.
Yeah, I snap it up. I got petersurowski.com. I don't.
As you should.
See, as a customer, the first thing I do still is look for a website. Do you have a website?
Well, that's doing something for you, because that's lending your business legitimacy, and that is a thing. And if that's what it is, cool. And that allows me to kind of go like, okay, well, good, because I can give you a much lower price.
Yeah. Like, even as a customer, I don't care what's on your website other than where are you?
Hours.
When are you open? Yeah. How do I get to you? How do I contact you? Like, I don't need to know like your backstory. Like, oh, I started weaving llama sweaters with my great grandma and stuff. Like, I need to know how to get to you to give you money.
Doesn't Google now almost replace that, because they have hours, they have location?
I don't use Google.
Well, when I type in Google and I'll type in like Detroit Podcasting Company, hashtag cheap plug, it shows the hours here. It shows where it's located. It's direction button. It doesn't show prices or anything.
Google is starting to show like the AI suggestions at the top that aren't always right. So that just leads me to believe that I can't necessarily trust anything they're showing. So I still want to click through to their website and verify this is actually, like, I can't take Google at its word anymore, because they're starting to make shit up.
What Randy's saying is he disagrees with you. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
As a customer, like, I go to small business, I go to restaurants, whatever. I want to know the best way to get to you to give you money.
And that's a purpose, conveying accurate information to the customer. That's like, if the customer is looking for that, I have a pizzeria, I need to know, or I need to give my clients the menu, the hours, location. And like, these AI suggestions are not always right. If you Google my agency, it comes up with mostly accurate information, but it gets me jumbled up with some other businesses called Brainjar. So you get
a lot of Disney stuff Sorry.
Is that a thing?
No, like Walt Disney cryogenically froze his brain. So sorry. Do you know what? I'm totally going off on a path. So the movie Frozen, there's a conspiracy theory out that the movie Frozen was made. So when you Google Disney Frozen, it would go to the movie and not to his head. And I still think it's accurate. I'm gonna die believing that that's true. That like the executives at Disney were like, you know what? Like, when you have a bad review or something online, just bury it with good stuff or shit you create.
That makes sense. In my former life, in my younger years, I was a newspaper journalist, and there was this one police sergeant who's, luckily I don't remember his name, but who shall remain nameless, who would quote, like, always be open to the media, because he got like arrested for something back in the old days, and he just wanted to bury it with other news articles.
Yeah. Well, now the trend is, have you seen like Thai restaurant near me as the name. So when you Google Thai restaurant, I mean, are you recommending that to people to like, again, you always try to manipulate to try to get to the top of Google. Before it was AAA life insurance. That's why you were at the top of the yellow pages, like today though.
Well, I mean, okay, strictly speaking,
yeah,
that works. And that's good. Is it a stupid name? Yeah, it's a stupid name. Why would you do
that?
that?
But if it's Thai food, you don't care. I don't care what it's.
Yeah, I mean, they might not care if it sounds cool. And I mean, like, honestly, here's my recommendations for store names. Is it needs to be comprehensible, whatever somebody says it to you. It needs to be easy to say. It needs to be easy to spell when somebody says it to you. And it needs to be unambiguous whenever you Google it. So, for example, don't call your business, the Amazon Thai food restaurant, because you're going to go Amazon Thai food, and it's going to come up with all sorts of Amazon listings, right? So even though that hits all the other marks, don't call it like, Hurl's Pizza with like 3 backward Z's. Don't do that.
I love Z names. It's well documented here how much I hate Z. I won't go. Burgers, I won't go.
Or even if your name is like Bocht, like Bocht Agency, find a different name. Don't use Bocht. Nobody will hear that. I'm making that up.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. How do you spell it? CHKC? Just a C? Yeah.
O-A, A with an umlaut. Who knows? My name's Surowski. I'm not naming anything Surowski.
Sure.
It's kind of spellable, but not spellable enough.
Right.
Brainjar. You can spell that.
Sure.
You can look it up. Unfortunately, there are a few other businesses that are called Brainjar, which is kind of where I missed the mark on that one. But
yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, that's it. Just choose your name and make sure the .com is available. So, or at least a .net. So like almost every .com is taken nowadays. But if you're like, okay, well, Habit Burger. Okay, well, let's find a different one. Red Hat Burger. Okay, how about Purple Hat, Blue Hat Burger? Okay, let's like Green Shirt Burger. Find something that hits all those marks.
Right.
Comprehensible, unambiguous when you Google it. People can understand it. People can spell it.
Yeah, it's interesting. So that's step one.
Yeah.
Right. Now, well, and here's the problem too. You have to deal with now. You have to get the Facebook / your name, and then you have to get 20 likes or whatever, so you can get it. You can customize it. Then you have to do Instagram / your name. You have to own the real estate, the TikTok, the YouTube. You really have to like check, like the naming conventions aren't what they were in the late 90s. Because now you have to claim your real estate.
Yeah.
We did it for IT in the D. We had to do it for Detroit Podcast. Luckily at the time, IT in the D wasn't being used other than like live in the D at channel 4 and I think 106.7 the D. So IT in the D was like, now it's chickpea in the D. Like, what the hell is that? CrossFit in the D. Like, stop it, knock it off. We've been here a lot. We've had this name I think since how long have we had this name now? 12 years.
7.
Wow.
Oh, is it 07 we had the IT in the D name? Yeah, I don't know, maybe. Yeah. Anyway,
I'm getting it from you.
Yeah. No, I doubt that. I doubt that very much.
So I want to go back to some recommended tools. We talked about Google Ads. We kind of been dancing around a little bit, but like social media. What about like any of those tools that like manage social media for you, like cross posting or things like that? Or should you focus on each individually, or should you use one of those tools?
No, you use one of the tools. The individuals. Okay. I'll tell you what. Use them both. Use a tool. And Hootsuite, it used to be kind of my favorite. It's a little expensive. It's like
it got expensive now.
Yeah, it's like 100 something per user. There's one called Social Boo, Social and then BU. It's like a little company, but I found it to be real good for like the cost, like $20 a month or something. But use that for all your posting. All these tools will let you just kind of like customize per platform. But then if you're looking to build community and actually like make, connections, you can't just use that. That'll let you post, but then you got to go onto the platforms and either engage with people or have somebody on your team engage with people. And the more you do that, the more you're, liking and commenting and just sort of, communicating with humans, the more they're going to follow you and the more, potential clients you're going to turn around.
And do that with every platform, or like try and focus on one, or...
Well, yeah, like for most company, I still recommend Facebook mostly.
Okay.
It's older. It's like I feel weird to call myself an older folk. But it's people more in the general area of our age and older, and those are the people who have more disposable income. You go to Instagram, you're going to get people a little bit younger, and then TikTok, I'm finding very poor ROI on so far. I think because the demographics of your users is still too young. They're in their 20s. They're, working low-paying jobs still. So
Depends what you're selling, I think, very much.
Well,
if I'm a pizzeria, I'm on TikTok till the end of time.
Good point.
Or until
the next big thing.
Until it's Super Troopers Starship Troopers. Sorry, it's TikTok until something's better or you die. Like it's pretty much. Why do I get Starship Troopers and Super Troopers mixed up? Awful habit.
Names.
I know.
One has Casper Van Dien's ass, and the other one doesn't.
I didn't know that. Randy.
It's the only reason to watch Starship Troopers.
No comment. It's a fantastic movie, by the way. I heard the book was better, but I don't read.
The movie's fine, yeah.
Yeah, I don't read. Anything else that we missed? So now here we are sitting in a podcast studio, and here we see people like doing video and creating content, trying to get own your message. I mean, if you own a small business, I know you don't have a lot of time, but to be able to own your, is that an option these days? Is that to have a YouTube channel if you're, a restaurant to do, Chef Joe in the back and show making, cordon bleu, you know what I'm saying? I know Chef Bobby's on Fox 2 all the time. That's kind of how he got his, that was his niche or how he branded. But are you seeing that? Are you recommending that? I feel like the ones doing it are they kind of put themselves on another level.
Yes, but then there are a lot of folks who burn a lot of money and time on it, and it doesn't turn into that much. I think it depends on your product or service. I mean, if you're, I think you should start like this. So you say you have a clientele. Let's say you're managed IT. You have 10 or 20 clients. You want to stay in touch with them. And so social media just gives you another avenue for that. So you get your newsletter, right? And everybody has a newsletter. And that's a good way. That's still, I know you hate it, but it still works. Well, social media is going to be another way. And then you're going to be able to continuously stay on top of mind with your clients. And then if that's all the return you get, awesome. Then that's probably worth your while right there. But you're going to find that you're going to start to attract strangers, strangers who are interested in your particular line of work. And so if that's the case, which it often is, start growing it. Get somebody on your team to start managing that.
I say that brings up another point too. How much time do you spend on maintaining what you have versus trying to get new customers?
It costs about 1/10 as much to keep a customer as it does to go find a new customer. So if you have a customer, more of your energy should be spent pleasing that customer, I believe.
Tell that to Comcast.
Oh, yeah.
I say
they've never heard any of that.
It seems like
yeah.
You don't ever see loyalty deals or anything for companies. It's always new customers get 20% off, and I've been a customer 25 years.
They all do it. Yeah, they all do it, and it drives me nuts. Yeah,
right.
that.
I think you should always be working on pleasing and impressing your existing clients.
Well, that's the loyalty programs. I think so. The places I keep talking restaurants, but the ones that do it well, when it's your birthday, and they, Buddies is really good at it. Hey, it's football game, free delivery today.
Ooh.
Oh, they least bothered me out of all of them that send me stuff. I actually don't mind because it's always something relevant and timely. It's not every day. No, I'm not going to eat pizza every day, buddies. But football games on, I'll get a pizza tonight.
Sure.
And they know, they're not overwhelming. They're not sitting in my living room. I think that's I think someone's in their ear telling them to do it right. Because there's other places if I buy a T-shirt on Fanatics, I get 13 emails a day from Fanatics.
Yeah, you got to unfollow them.
Yeah,
I think
I don't want to because I like the brand. You know what I mean? There's brands I like that I unfollow that are you're too you're the needy girlfriend. Just all right, you're pretty, but too much.
One a month is fine. I think any more than that, you're overkill. So.
Doesn't it? I was gonna say it depends on the brand though. No, or
well, if you have something to say more often than that, but not if you're grasping at straws. I send out for my businesses one a month, and that's fine. We don't have that much news going on, but if you got a new T-shirt design here, and you got a drawing there, You know, and then okay, like more designs here. Okay, yeah, cool. Like as long as it's going to interest your fans.
Right. So the one thing I got to ask you, because we have this, I have a hate relationship with this, but it's inevitable and it always happens. Obviously, being in enterprise sales and being in tech sales, marketing companies do drip campaigns. They live and die by drip campaigns, and they think LinkedIn is the end all be all, Sales Navigator, and then they send out these intro. We've helped companies. I mock about this all the time. This is an old topic with me. We've helped companies such as yours in their journey, to the web. I'm just use an example of, and then you don't answer, and then like third time going, oh, looks like we missed you. If you don't respond this time, we're just never going to have to talk to you again. And you're like, this is you need to be better. Like, who said that? How did this ever work? And then
when did
who
guilt
said
tripping somebody ever turn around a client?
Sandler Sales Training did it.
Oh no.
Sandler Sales is people are going to, I've gotten arguments with people about this. They built some weird religion around this going, hey, Mr. Customer, I'm a busy guy. And if you don't buy from me, I got 13 customers across the street that all have the doors open for me. And you might not want to miss out on what they're having. And you're supposed to, as a consumer, go, no, I won. It's the Simpsons, the monorail episode. Like, I don't know if you want a monorail. That's more of a Shelbyville idea. And everybody's like, no, we want a monorail. And it's like somebody somewhere said that this is acceptable, how to talk to people.
I'm going to have to agree with you on this one. I get that too. They email you once and then they email you like, hey, just wanted to follow up our previous email. I didn't hear from you. And the third one, and it's an automated sequence. They just have like instantly.io or something doing this for them, or instantly.ai. And then third one, okay, well, I guess I'm just going to, this is your last chance. I'm going to try one more time to reach you. And it's just like, I'm wanting to talk to you less and less with every.
I hate your guts now.
Yeah.
That's what we, we work with enterprise clients, and we have reach outs all the time. Yeah. And I'm like, at this point in the game, just invite people to events or content or things going on. Like, hey, thought of you. There's this thing. I know you're slammed. If you can make time for us, we'd love to have you. Leave it at that. If especially if nobody's talked to you yet. Like if you start doing that stuff, or like, hey, you're in this industry. We just did a huge project in Chicago that saved a client $10 million. If you want to have a cup of coffee, we'd love to buy you a cup of coffee and show you how we did it.
And that's kind of what I was trying to get to with AI is, AI, it can save you some time, but if you're trying to replace people, no. Maybe for a time the AI chatbots, salespeople will work, but in the end, all these automation tools, people get catch onto them, and they get old real fast, and then we're back to just good, genuine human connections.
Indeed. Love it. Peter, appreciate you coming out to the studio. It's great to finally meet you. But you can find Peter online at brainjar.net, and we'll post his LinkedIn in the show notes. But we're going to wrap things up for this episode of the IT and the D Show. On behalf of Bob and Randy, do us all a favor. Drink up your drinks. Get your phone numbers. You don't got to go home. You just got to get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.